I'd like to remind all of the members, put on their microphone. I think they are actually letting the people outside see what's going on. Anyone that comes to the podium, I would appreciate it if you talk into the mic. First thing on our agenda is CNS Plastic Division Site and Construction.
Mr. O'Bannon, CNS Plastics here, representing the owner and several other people. They're planning an expansion. This is their plans laid up here. They can also have them on the iPads. It's all into utilities. They want to sign off and approve of it. They're adding how much?
30,000
square foot industrial building to the back of the building that presently have.
I think, Mark, you have this.
No,
Do you
ma'am.
have- Do you have the other thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, has everyone looked at it on their? I think. Does anyone have any questions on it? Okay, you're asking for both site and construction?
Correct.
Is there any other discussion on it? Okay, I would entertain a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes. And we will be signing these after the meeting. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the Bridget Hopkins subdivision minor plat.
Mr. O'Bannon, we'll work off on it, presented some plans here. Two residential lots, one directly behind the other one. The property owner bought the lot behind her and is wanting to join the two lots together.
Okay,
It's on Hamilton Street.
and I looked at these, can anything else be built on that? There's already something on it, isn't there? Is there room for width?
Well, she can build a outbuilding or accessory structure, because I've been over residence. Been all one lot.
Right, anyone have any questions on this? Does this, where did I see that? The Hopkins property, is it connected to that? Anything there? Or is that all Johnny Bean's property that goes up to Hamilton Street? You're on the left.
But I don't understand what you're talking about.
You're on the left, that property goes actually from Hamilton Street down to Mayberry Street. Up at the top, close to Hamilton Street, on the left-hand side,
Yes,
it
ma'am.
has Troy Hopkins property, deeds on it.
Mhm.
Is that talking about that part? Or is that all that Johnny Bean's property? Come in.
It's two, I see the two, that'd be two lots there that Johnny Bean would own.
Okay, all right.
Looks like there may be an easement through there on the Bean property.
No, ma'am. I think,
Martin,
yeah, I remember that.
do you see what I'm talking about?
I do. It's represented, though, you can kind of see those, they're lighter shaded lines that come off perpendicular to
Yes,
that line. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4
Four
property
lots.
owners.
the top lot, who does that belong to?
Troy Hopkins. You see, there's kind of a little arrow that's pointing
Is,
off of Troy's.
okay, this, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Is this gonna connect to those two lots that are being joined?
No, ma'am. You got Troy will join the first property on Hamilton Street. Johnny Bean will join lot one. Nancy Bean will join lot 1 and 2, and then Johnny Bean will join lot 2.
Okay,
The south portion of it, right there. So you got 4 adjoiners, Ms. Rowena, that abut into the west line of
right,
that.
okay. I just wanted to be sure, I see where the lots separate, but I
Yes,
didn't
ma'am.
know if it was the same people that were owning them or not.
No, they're different. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Anybody else have any other questions, discussion? Alright. When I get a motion on this,
Motion to approve.
Second.
okay, and the other thing that I saw, I had pointed out to you, Mark,
Yes, ma'am.
where, and I'll go ahead and make this, so, Daniel will know, when Daniel goes to sign this, if y'all will change that from Lincoln County to Fayetteville Regional Planning Commission,
Yes, ma'am.
and both of you initial it, then it should be all right.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I think Randy, we've done that before with Randy. He's,
Well, I mean, yeah, and I knew you knew,
yes, ma'am.
but it's just one of those,
Yeah, it was just a copy mistake from the county to the city. But, I appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you. Right, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the annexation request for property on Liberty Road.
The property owner is asking for 3.8 acres to be annexed into the city limits. Been through the utilities. All utilities are present at the site. That's about all I can say about the annexation.
All right, from what I can understand, there's 1.10, no less than that, already in the city limits. And when this comes in, the entire parcel will be 3.6, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is the discussion on this?
This proposal for the townhomes is going to be on this 3.6 acres, correct?
I'm actually not sure that it's gonna be on the 3.6, or if that includes the part that belongs to their house is.
It's a separate piece of property. It's separate property from what the house line
It
is.
is separate, so the 3.6 is the actual. Okay, so part of the property then is already in the city limits.
Correct.
And 2.8 is what you're asking to come in, okay? And this is the property that you have proposed, it says here, intended to be developed into Liberty Creek 40-unit townhome development. Okay,
But now, the proposed development would be, if this was annexed and approved, the total project that was developed as presented would be that plus this, that's it, so it would total 3.6 acres.
Correct.
That's correct.
Madam Chairman, I thought a lot about this, and I'm, a big proponent of personal property rights. I think people ought to be able to use their property where they want to. And I know there's a lot of arguments about this is about why some people object to this, and frankly, some of them might disagree with it. But the one issue that I have is the traffic issue. I live about 2 miles from there on the other side of the highway, and I drive through there every day. And I just think that would be a really difficult thing to inject that much more traffic onto that intersection. It's, at best it would be inconvenient. At worst, I think it would be dangerous to do that. And, I think that would, I know we're not being asked to approve the development. We're just being asked to look at the annexation, but I don't know that that's fair to move forward with that when, I'm not in support of the project. That's the purpose of this. And I'm sympathetic to the Stewarts. Again, I think people ought to be able to use their property the way they want to, but this commission is supposed to be looking at things from the 30,000 foot level. apply some common sense to different projects. And when you do that, from a common sense standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. The approach to the highway, there's an incline there, there's no shoulders. It's already backed up terribly. And again, I drive about every day, and I'm there at rush hour in the morning and in the evenings, and I can't imagine anybody in that area trying to use that intersection with that many more cars. And so, for that reason, reluctantly, I would not support this. I'm not in support of this.
And I understand what you're saying, that if we're not going to support what he intends to use it for, then why go to the
Right. I mean, I don't necessarily have any problem with the annexation otherwise, but I mean, that's the point, and it doesn't seem fair to anybody to just go through the motions if I know that I'm not in support of the project, because that's the purpose. So I wouldn't support that.
Okay, I'm going ahead and ask each one of you, Craig, do you have anything to add to that?
Sort of like Daniel. I believe in liberties that we possess here, and also agree that a man should be able to do what he wishes with his property. But we also have to take in consideration those around us, or those others that will be affected by what we do. So that would be just that's a tough call.
Mike?
I would, I think probably the traffic, is maybe the top priority here. And I would suggest that, and I've done a little research on this issue. I've talked to state officials, I've talked to local officials, I've talked to contractors and realtors. I would suggest maybe in good faith that a traffic impact study be done. And with some data to show people it either would or would not affect.
So we also have to consider, when you're considering what's being done, the impact on the housing here, whether we need, from what I can understand with talking to realtors, that in good condition right now, there's 114 homes for sale in the city of Fayetteville. And is this something that we're needing, or is it something, we have to weigh what it will bring to us as opposed to what we feel like would be something that was harmful to our community. So,
Well, I want to state, I agree with what everybody said so far, and I'm also one of the people that are around that area. We have all gotten the emails, we've gotten the communication. I've read every word of every one of them, and I agree. My experience as being an elected official is that you never know sometimes the impact in the beginning on the project, but that may happen with 20, 30 years down the line. And I know at the city right now, we're dealing with a lot of drainage issues that have been impacted on some subdivisions that were put in 30, 40 years ago. And even the proposed tax base that would come off new development wouldn't even touch one of those projects. So I'm not inclined to support the annexation.
Dorothy?
That would be my thought as well. The traffic, I don't know if this commission knows it or not, but the school there at RCA was granted permission to put in a school zone, which slowed down traffic. That impacted on top of extra traffic added coming out of there. And the rush hour that we have in the morning and the evening, that's just gonna bother me really, really bad right there. And if they ever put that light in, it's gonna be a nightmare. So I've got questions about drainage there in that creek and all of this concrete that's gonna go in for that development. I'm worried about flooding. I think it flooded there some years ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago, I'm not sure. But it's really tight, so I'm concerned about that as well.
Okay, Eric?
I think Mr. Eldridge put my thoughts and concerns, my viewpoint into words as well as I ever could. I think most of us who looked into this to great length, with a lot of effort, have reached the same conclusions. I would be very inclined to agree with what everyone saying.
I too have looked into it, I have visited out there, I have looked. I am concerned about the traffic, I'm also concerned about the drainage. I'm concerned about the impact it will make on, the whole community, whether it's schools, police, fire, whatever. As it stands right now, we are faced with, they are asking for annexation, it's an annexation request. It is up to this board to either recommend or not recommend to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to annex this. Could I get a motion, please?
I'd like to offer that motion to not for annexation.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
All right. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, I hope you understand, Mr. Stewart, that it's not the fact that we are trying to stop it, it just happens to be the place that you picked, we feel would be detrimental at this time. Is there anything else? All right, then the fourth thing on this is the rezoning request for that property on Liberty Road. And of course, the property that is not annexed, would not even be considered here. As far as I know, the other part of that piece of property that is in the city limits, right now, there's no answer. Are you asking for us to rezone that one little part that's not? Okay. So, no, that he's not asking for rezoning for that part. Is there anything else that goes under the business of the regular business at this time? We go to other business, and we have our 2020 annual report, and we'll take that on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is our 2020 annual report. This is a document that we started a couple of years ago, and it basically is a snapshot of our 2020 year. It goes month by month for the projects that we approved. Our continuing ed is on there. All of your 10 years of service is on there. And then at the end is our goals for this year. Of course, we're going to wrap up the subdivision regulation update, and then I would like to move on to the sign ordinance. I know that's been an issue that we want to address as well once we get this other project completed. And we usually accept this document, and then it goes up to the board and alderman for acceptance by that board.
Okay, I hope y'all read through it. Is there anything anyone wants to add or change on that? Christie did a good job.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept this? Then,
I make a motion to accept and send it on to the board. Mayor and Alderman to approve.
do I hear a second on that?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? The next thing on our agenda is to call for a public hearing on our subdivision regulations, and y'all know that we have been updating those regulations, and we really, I guess the whole thing right now is just simply that we need to call for a public hearing in February.
Yes, ma'am, we would hold a public hearing in February and let anybody come and speak on that document. Then Ms. Sharon Armstrong, who's been a consultant on this project, would take those comments and make any revisions if necessary or changes. And then we would have a formal approval or however y'all would proceed in March as far as accepting that.
Okay, I want to say that I think we've all learned a lot through this, and we appreciate all that everyone has done in this, so,
Christie, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
How does that document get disseminated to the public to review?
Ms. Sharon Armstrong will be sending out our final draft. I'll send it out to everybody, and then we'll run an ad in the newspaper and get it posted about the public hearing and show or tell the location that can come and view it here or request a copy.
So you don't post it or something online, they'll just kind of come?
We would post it on our
I
website,
get you.
but we would definitely get the word out, and I would reach out to surveyors, contractors, different ones to let them know that we will be holding that next month.
Nice.
And I did talk to Ms. Caldwell and Mr. Rodriguez, were both here tonight, and I do appreciate them coming. And I did mention to them that, of course, this goes to the planning commission. This is not something that the board of mayor and aldermen do. And, but I did tell them that, Chrissy would have available to them copies of this. So I would like for them to look through it. If there's something that they see that needs to be changed or something, then definitely we would like to hear about that. You know,
And Mr. Daniel, I will include that in my board mayor and alderman report to let them know that that is.
all right. I need a motion to call for the public hearing for the subdivision regulations update.
So moved.
All right. Do I hear a second? Did you do it, Mike?
I was waiting for him to speak.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I can't see his mouth.
All right, then Chrissy's planning department report.
Okay, we issued 164 total permits in 2020, and despite COVID, that number was greater than 2019. So I was happy to see that. Linus is already working with South Central on applying for the home grant. We applied last year and didn't receive it. The application is not open yet because they are waiting on HUD. They're waiting on HUD to allocate the funds. The county was awarded the home grant in 2017, and I just wanted to mention that they're finishing up using those funds, and we actually issued a permit this month for a property located on Hedgemont that is going to benefit from money from that grant in the amount of $67,000.
I saw that.
So I was very pleased that we had someone in the city that will be benefiting from that, and I hope we are awarded that so that we can do some more of those types of things. Approximately 850 property maintenance violations were logged in 2020. Linus is using her time in the winter months to focus on blighted property that is continuously on the list as habitual offenders. That's always a problem for us. And she's also going a step further in coordinating hearings with Mr. Hill and Eddie. They held 5 hearings for burned out property, houses in December. One house has already been demoed completely, and timelines were placed on the remaining properties. And they are kind of doing those in sets. So we got those out of the way, and they're getting their next list together so that we can just continuously do that and hope to speed some of these things along. Sometimes there is red tape if they live out of state, but Mr. Hill has been really great to work with us and help us at least stay on top of that.
Chrissy, we appreciate that. And the next thing I have is, all of you probably have been notified by the Tennessee Ethics Commission to send you your stuff. Eric, you have not. Okay, Christy, if you will work with Eric, just to let you know, you have to send that thing in or get fined $10,000, so you got to stay there.
I'll happily send that.
We'll cut that check.
So, and we did have to have it in by January 31st. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir.
So we do need to make sure you get that in. Everybody else? I got mine in too. Okay. Is there any other business that we need to take care of?
Ms. Serena, if you don't care, I just wanted to mention one other thing. I gave y'all a copy of the new visitors guide in the downtown maps. That's one of the projects that we've been working on Steve Chandler with through the Drainage Initiative. The downtown maps actually came out of a request of a merchant meeting that we held late summer. And I think that they are really nice. We are in the process, we've delivered to several businesses, and we're trying to do a couple each day with a permitting and get those distributed out. But we are continuing to work with Steve through the end of March. He is bringing some proposals for strategic planning that we hope to get approval for. And also, we haven't forgot about the downtown master plan. I'm gonna send some things up to strategic planning with Mr. Collins, so that we can begin work on some of those things too.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else on the business? All right, let's get down to the approval of minutes for the November 24th, 2020.
So moved.
Did you, okay, Mayor moved, we accept those. Does it have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we have 2 building permits. Inspector's report. And I did look at both of them, and I did notice, as she said, in the one for this month, where there is a lady that is getting property taken care of under that, grant. So, does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, then we will accept the building permit inspector's report for December 20 and January 21 as submitted. All right, anything else? All right, Dorothy,
I'm gonna adjourn.
I'm ready for you too. All right,
Committee minutes.
all in favor of that? Thank you so much, and I appreciate what you've done. Let's see, Chrissy, I got this guy in front of him.
All right.
Sharon.
Yeah.
At least to be right before our